CPS and you say to the kids, CPS came to your house, I think they're terrible. I think they suck. And they say, well, why did you call them? You say, well, I have to follow the rules, right? I have to do things which I consider destructive to your family because I have to follow the rules, right? How do you think the kids process that?
There's every time I've called, I feel like I'm doing something bad for that kid, and I'm causing more strife in that.
You just not answered my question, right?
How do the kids process it? The kids process it by losing trust in me. I feel they lose trust in me.
Either you say, I called CPS and that's the best thing to do, in which case the kids having experienced CPS probably don't agree, or you say, well, I called CPS because it's the worst, well, it's a terrible thing to do, but I have to obey the rules. So the rules are compelling me to do that which is against my conscience, but I have to obey the rules, right?
Mm-hmm. So,
see, you're looking at what you say, but the kids are internalizing what you do, right?
That's right. So,
and if you can't find a way to act in a moral manner in the environment, I'm not saying you can or you can't, but if you can't find a way to act in a moral manner, in a consistently moral manner within the environment, that's part of what is communicated, and a pretty important part of what is communicated to the kids. Unless you can explicitly say, I call CPS, it's almost always a disaster, almost always destructive to the family and destructive to you, but I have to obey the rules because I'm hoping I can do more good than ill in this corrupt environment.
Mm-hmm.
You probably can't really have that conversation, right?
No, I definitely can't have that conversation.
Because what if the kids then get called into the principal office and say, well, Joe, free domain radio listener teacher, says this whole environment is corrupt.
Yeah. I feel like I'm in a tricky situation. I'm at a loss. I guess that's why I've called in. I've kind of hit a wall on what I can do in this position as an educator. I hope that I'm doing some good, but I'm obviously not able to really fully measure that. So,
you started the call by saying I had a calling to teach.
Yeah.
What does that mean? That's jargony.
That is
right?
jargony. I was one of those lost kids who ended up with a fine arts degree, and I started teaching private music lessons when I was a lot younger, and I really loved teaching music lessons. I absolutely loved working with the kids, and I continued doing that, and I thought the logical place to go after that was to work as a music educator in the public school system. So I...
Wait. Why the public school system?
I felt like I could get to more children. But at the same point, it was a secure job with a secure benefits package. I realize all of that now. Secure job.
Not quite a calling.
Not quite a calling.
Right?
It was
not quite a calling. Right? I felt called to enjoy job security and a great benefits package.
Right, yeah.
It's like I felt called to cash in my winning lottery ticket because it's a mission of virtue, right?
Yeah.
Because, I mean, teachers, they say that kind of stuff, and it's designed, I'm not saying you're doing consciously, right? It's designed to kind of frame the discussion like you're heroic.
Yeah, and you know what? I think I just had like an aha moment there with that, and I think I wanted to start off this conversation by pinning myself up as somebody that was doing something heroic, but there's definitely that piece of it that when I got into the job, I wanted that paycheck. I wanted that contract that I could guarantee myself a paycheck for life.
Right. And how are the summers off treating you?
I'm definitely one of the teachers that would be in the camp of not having summers off. I don't agree.
Why is that?
I don't agree with summers off. The kids slip massively, and
No, but you have summers off,
well,
right?
Yeah, no, I do have summers off.
I mean, you don't go in and yell at empty classrooms, I assume, right?
I don't yell at classrooms, period. But
No, I know, but you know what I mean. Like, you still have the summers off, right? Whether you agree
I do
or
have
not,
the
right?
summers off.
All right. And that's pretty nice, right? I mean, it's summer.
Yeah. I've worked the past 6 summers. I take on part-time jobs in the summertime. I don't.
So you get more money.
Yeah.
Now, you know, of course, as I'm sure, I mean, the reason why I find teachers' self-praise a little precious is that I'm not saying this is true of you, but in general, teachers are idiots. They're at the low end of the SAT scores. They're at the low end of achievement, right?
Yeah, no, I agree. I feel
right. And so and so it's like it's the dumbest among us that we put in charge of our kids, of those who have the capacity to complete the educational degree, right? And again, I'm not saying this is true for all teachers, but in general, if you're not very good at pushing ideas around your wetware, you want to be given a room full of kids to instruct.
It seems ridiculous.
It is ridiculous. Of course it's ridiculous, but of course it's the government, so we get the exact opposite of what any rational society would want.
Yeah, no, I agree.
I mean, in Michigan, they found that only, I think, 20% of the teachers could pass, or the potential teachers could pass the teacher's exam. So naturally, they did the intelligent thing and vastly lowered the standards. Because, you know, the kids are worth it, right? And of course, teachers are continually saying, well, we're not praised, you know, we don't, it's a thankless profession, you know. I think Ann Coulter pointed out, do a search for teachers awards and you get like 8 billion hits. I mean, the amount of self-praise that goes on. And it's a calling, and the kids, and it's like, it's mostly a place where stupid people go so they can't get fired.
Yes, I agree wholeheartedly. I don't count myself among the stupid people.
No, I don't know. And you are a very tall Chinese basketball player. I absolutely accept and fully understand that you are there. And, you know, every bell curve has its blips, right? But you still felt it necessary to put yourself forward as someone who had a calling when teachers make more money than almost every, like per hour of work, teachers make more money than virtually every other profession except lawyers and doctors. They make more than engineers. They make more than architects. You name it. They just make a massive, and then it's like, oh, well, it's a self-sacrificial calling. Really? I don't think so.
And
because that usually doesn't come with a staggeringly high paycheck plus eternal job security.
And my board's going in for a strike vote next week, which is incredibly frustrating. So...
yeah, which is like, okay, fine, then just, you're in it for the money, then you don't give a shit about the kids. I get it. Okay, then just be honest. No, it's about the kids. Really? Aren't the kids being hurt by your excessive pay demands? No, it's about the money. Okay, then it's not about the kids. No, it's for the kids. It's like, oh my God, forget it. I can't believe you people are teaching young minds. Actually, I can't.
And then try being the teacher that votes no on the strike vote or crosses the picket line.
Oh yeah, that'll be fun.
No.
Yeah, because the Dunning-Kruger is in full effect in that teachers think they're brilliant because they're too dumb to know how dumb they are.
Definitely. There was a few...
in general, blah, 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 right? Okay.
2 years back, there was a work to rule thing. And I'm a music teacher. I'm in there. I want to play some tunes with these kids, right? And there was a work to rule thing, and I ran my clubs anyway. And I took a lot of heat from the teachers in the school and the union. And they forced me to stop. It was full on, like I was paying penalties.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, it bothers the shit out of me when teachers say that they're underpaid.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like, okay, great. Then let's privatize the schools and you can get all the money and all the value that the children and their parents voluntarily want to give you. Because if the government's underpaying you, let's release you into the free market so you can get your full amount of money's worth. Like if Brad Pitt is in the Soviet theater troupe and he feels he's underpaid, I got it. Let's open it up to the free market and you go make $10 or $20 million film. If you're Tom Cruise in the back end of the chorus line in an off-Broadway production because it's being run by the government, I get it. You're underpaid. You could be an action hero with abs to die for. Let's release you into the free market and you can make $10 or $20 million a film. And teachers say, we're underpaid. I'm like, great. Let's get you out into the free market so you can make all that money you feel that you deserve because you're such great teachers. Let's unshackle you from this horrible price ceiling called the government and set you free into the free market so you can go and scoop all of the money out of the grateful parents' pockets for the massive amount of beneficial brain cells you're dropping into their children's craniums. And they're like, what, free market? Fuck no. I don't want to go. No. God, no, don't put me out there. I'll discover my true worth. No. Well, anyway.
I agree with you that the majority of teachers are overpaid. And those are the teachers that show up for their 6 hours of working and take their full amount of breaks and their prep times to surf Facebook and dick around, because that happens. I see it all the time. I even knew a teacher once that would, on video game release day, would take a sick day so he could stay home and play a brand new video game.
Which was probably entirely for the benefit of his children, right? For the kids he was teaching, they probably learned more when he was fragging aliens than when he was actually in the classroom, given the 20,000-year monotony state.
Oh yeah, 100%. But I go in, I'm in there at 7 o'clock. School starts at 9. I'm in there at 7 o'clock. I help with the, putting together all the breakfast program, putting together the food, serving food to 80 kids. Then I get onslaught of children through my room. On my prep, I got kids in my room practicing on recesses and all that stuff. Kids are constantly in my room. At the end of the day, I'm spending another couple hours working on shit. Then I go home and work on more prep and making sure that I'm commenting and making as much inroads as I possibly can with these kids to let.
Okay, so listen, but what you're telling me is that you're a great teacher, and I have no reason to disbelieve you. I'm willing. Obviously, I can't verify any of this, but I'm going to completely believe you. You are a great teacher.
So,
right?
I've looked into that Sudbury school system.
Hang on.
My fault. Go ahead.
I'm sorry. I know teachers are used to talking, but hang on a sec. So, you will make more money in a private school, or you can do a podcast and video series on how children should think critically, how they can learn. You can make a fortune, and you can reach kids all over the world permanently. And you can take that money that you're making in the free market, you can hire animators to make it even more engaging. With all that money, you could even make a film or a TV series or start your own school. Because if you're a great teacher, and I believe that you are, you're dedicated, you're hardworking, you're really concerned about the kids. And I'm not saying this cynically. I genuinely believe that that is the case. Then the government is a complete mismatch for you. Because your skills, capacities, dedication, and empathy to the children could be far more powerful if you weren't only talking to 20 or 30 or 35 kids at a time, but play for mankind, as the reggae song says, right?
Yeah.
You're never going to do that, right?
I
know. I mean, I know we're having a very academic discussion. You're not quitting the school, right?
No.